Jacob talks.
Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not.
There's an employee at the Burger King in Las Vegas named Kevin Ford, who started working there in 1995, hasn't missed a day of work since. And so to celebrate 27 years, his employer gave him a movie ticket, a Starbucks cup, some candy. He accepted those little gifts with grace.
People appreciate it. This is what I got. I had a bag, a nice bag, and this, a movie ticket. Thank you very much. And I also got a bag of Reese's. This is very nice. From Starbucks. Thank you guys. And it's like a lanyard. 2 pins and a couple of keys, chains, and 2 lifesavers.
Call Halal Yahweh, Bashem Yahshai, Bashem Akakudash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalak Rayam to you, demons. This is Nahum 3:1, and it reads, Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. Woe to the bloody city. And that bloody city is speaking about America and the so-called United States, which we know according to the scriptures and prophecies, the next kingdom fit for destruction, aka Babylon the Great. And I say so-called because we're about to see how unified Babylon looks and feels when Alabama incest and rape victims got to go all the way to Maryland to get an abortion. Or how about what anti-abortionists are about to do when laws aren't being reinforced? More blood spilling for blood spilling. Imagine that. And, that is exactly how the end of Babylon is written. Woe, meaning destruction to the bloody city, all full of lies and robbery. And let's not forget how Esau, the real red man, came into possession of indigenous land by way of robbery and deceit, by way of violence and bloodshed. The prey departeth not, and that prey is us, the spirit and essence of his wicked acts in subjugating and slaughtering we Israelites is still prevalent today. It, like us, are still stuck in the same position, no matter how long and how hard we work, still trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. Let's go to James 5:4, and it reads, Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, speaking to we so-called Negroes and Native Indians subjected to slavery, the same transatlantic slave trade, the same destruction of the Indies documented in 1542 that the present-day ruling establishment would have you believe never happened, and the history of it doesn't exist, which is of you kept back by fraud. Kept back by fraud because we weren't paid. Crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. The Lord of Sabaoth, meaning the Lord of armies, the warlord. The Heavenly Father has heard the sighing and the crying. He has seen the evil and unjust treatment of his people. Quick precept. Let me go to Psalm 91:6. We'll start at 4, and it reads, He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. Wings and feathers is a metaphor for the chariots, the so-called UFOs and UAPs that, the CIA and all the other alphabet agencies are trying to explain away. Not to mention CNN and all the other corporate news affiliates. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler, meaning the understanding of the word, the knowledge of this truth will be our protection in these last days. It's James 1:21 that says the engrafted word, which is the scriptures, this understanding, this truth roughly paraphrasing, is able to save our souls. And if you go to 2 Samuel 22 and 31, it says, Yahweh is a buckler, meaning a shield, our protection to all that trust in him. Psalm 91 and 5, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. Speaking to the hypersonic and ICBM missiles and the amount of warheads that will be flying in the daytime, blocking out the sun. Daytime will seem like night. The skies will be covered in fire. Psalm 91 and 6, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. Now, what is noonday? Noonday is the highest point of the day. The hottest part of the day is noon. Noonday refers to the height or the highest peak of Esau's rulership, the highest point of the so-called white man's rule. Ergo, the destruction of his lovely empire is going at the highest point of his New World Order agenda, making the taking of the RFID Michael C. HIP mandatory, WW3, the nuclear missiles, Yahweh Shai, the chariots and lasers will be the cleaning agent that will remove the filth and stench that Babylon has become. Job 20:22 says this, and I really wish it was this year. Sorry if that was over your head, but in any event, it reads, in the fullness of his sufficiency at noonday, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Now, when you go into the Hebrew for wicked in this verse, the word is amal, defined as labor, a labor that causes grief, pain, or weariness. Strong's Hebrew 5999 and 6001, it speaks to meaning mischief, misery, travail, trouble, sorrow, grievance, grievousness, iniquity, miserable, pain, painful, perverseness, toil, wearisome, and wicked. You ever hear that saying, no rest for the wicked? Well, there you go. Job 20:22 is a precept for James 5 and 4. And I'll read it again. And it says, behold the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields. The same people who called you nigger and spics, blacks and browns, Afro-Americans, West Indians and Latinos, the same people that you enslaved. It was our free labor that built your wonderland, your Disney amusement park, Esau. A bit ironic, you would call it the home of the land and the free. Now I know exactly what you mean. Free for you, not us. Which is of you kept back by fraud. They still waiting for their 40 acres and a mule. Britain apologized for colonial crimes some years back, but pussyfooted around giving us an apology for our treatment during the slavery. It took them 20 some odd years, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth out to Yahweh for relief and for deliverance from this madness and this sickness and this plague and a virus that's responsible for it all. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Yahweh is a man of war, and Yahweh Shah, through the power and spirit of the Heavenly Father, when he returns, he will not meet Esau as a man, roughly paraphrasing Isaiah 47 and 3. James 5 and 5, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and being wanton, meaning living luxuriously, ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. And they have had their fill, and they continue to live deliciously off of our sorrow, salakia, our misery, and our pain. You don't believe me? Go look at the courthouses and the criminal law system. James 5 and 6. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and the just are we Israelites, we so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, who flip your almost meat, beef, patties, whatever they are, at minimum wage, and he doth not resist you, meaning we don't fight at large. We don't resist the hellish conditions you put us through. We either accept it or grin and bear it. Some of us wear it like a badge of honor. Not too many men present themselves humbly like the Jake in this video. Yahweh Shai kept silent in the face of his adversaries. And you best believe when he returns, he's got a lot to
A
say.
lot of people thought, wait a minute, that's kind of an insult. They reached out to see how they could help. So his daughter set up a GoFundMe page to raise $200 so he'd have enough money to go visit his grandchildren. So far, the GoFundMe page has raised $365,000.